So, what type of player are the Chicago Bulls bringing in exactly? For the people who may not know your game that well, how would you describe your style and what you bring to the team?
Look, man, it's that simple. I mean, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and I'm going to play as hard as I can and create opportunities for myself and others more than anyone else that's going to be playing in the NBA. Like, I'm a hard worker, and I'm going to get it done. I mean, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win, and it's just that simple.
If you gave up on the Bulls back in February, nobody would blame you. But look again, because what's happened in Chicago between April and July isn't a rebuild, it's a full identity change. A new front office with an actual plan, a new head coach built around defense, a 4th overall pick already lighting up Summer League, and a young core that for the first time in over a decade genuinely fits together. So how good could this team really be? And is Chicago finally building something worth paying attention to again? To understand how significant this shift is, you have to understand where the Bulls stood just a few months ago. Because this wasn't a team with any real direction. It was stuck in the worst place a franchise can be, the middle. Not bad enough to bottom out for a franchise-altering pick, not good enough to threaten anyone in the East. A 31-51 record, out of play-in contention before March even arrived. A roster caught between eras, too old to be considered young, too young to actually compete. Same story, same result, year after year. By April, ownership had seen enough. Billy Donovan stepped down after 6 seasons on the bench, and with him went the last real tie to the post-Zach LaVine era. Now, if the Bulls had simply swapped coaches, nobody would have noticed. Teams change coaches every summer. What made this different was what came next. Enter Bryson Graham, pulled from the Atlanta Hawks front office to become the Bulls' new executive vice president of basketball operations. His job was simple to describe and brutally hard to execute. Give this franchise an identity. Pick a direction. Stop dancing around the rebuild everyone already knew was coming. Then came the hire that told you exactly where things were headed. Tiago Splitter, fresh off guiding a young Trailblazers team to their first postseason appearance since 2021, was brought in as head coach. Splitter wasted no time laying out his vision. Physical, defensive, possession-driven basketball, winning the possession battle every single night. That is not the Bulls team you've watched over the last 5 years. A squad that's lived and died by up-tempo, three-point heavy basketball. Splitter is demanding something entirely different, a style Chicago hasn't run since the Tom Thibodeau era. And here's the part that tends to get overlooked. This new regime inherited 2 top 15 draft picks, real cap flexibility, and a young core already in place. Most rebuilds start from nothing. Chicago got to skip that step entirely, and what they did with that head start in just a few weeks completely reshaped the franchise's ceiling. It starts with the pick that changed the whole conversation around this team. Draft night at the Barclays Center, the Bulls sitting at number 4, holding what was essentially the first real decision of the Bryson Graham era. Every fan in Chicago understood the stakes. This wasn't just about adding talent, it was about declaring who the Bulls were now. And they got their guy, Caleb Wilson. 6'10", a roughly 7-foot wingspan, a former 5-star recruit out of Atlanta who spent 1 season at North Carolina and left college basketball wondering what might have been if a hand injury hadn't cut his season short. But what he did in those 24 games was more than enough to make his case. 19.8 points, 9.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.4 blocks a night, shooting nearly 58% from the field. A second-team All-American as a true freshman, and here's the number that really stands out. 66 dunks in 24 games. Not a center, not a power forward. A 19-year-old freshman wing was attacking the rim more than anyone in college basketball. The one real concern was his jump shot. Wilson shot just under 26% from 3 at North Carolina, the single knock keeping him from being the consensus top pick in his class. Then Summer League happened. In his debut in Las Vegas, Wilson dropped 35 points on 12 of 21 shooting, including 7 of 11 from beyond the arc, to go along with 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. The same player who couldn't shoot in college walked into his first professional game and buried 7 threes. It wasn't just the box score, it was the confidence, the footwork, the way he moved without the ball. That wasn't a rookie easing his way in, that was a statement to the rest of the league. When reporters asked who his game reminded him of, Wilson didn't hesitate. Kawhi Leonard. Not the easiest comparison to live up to, but the way he said it wasn't arrogance, it sounded like a blueprint. Two-way, efficient, understated, dangerous. This is a player who clearly knows what he wants to become. And for the first time since Derrick Rose walked through that door, Chicago has a top 5 pick with genuine franchise cornerstone upside, someone you could realistically build the next decade around. But here's what separates this situation from the Rose era. Wilson won't have to carry the load by himself. Waiting for him at point guard is a player who has quietly become one of the most productive young playmakers in the league, Josh Giddey. And if you haven't been tracking what he's done in Chicago, you're not alone. Most of the league missed it too. Rewind for a second. Giddey went 6th overall in the 2021 draft, a 6'8" Australian playmaker with elite vision and a jump shot scouts weren't sure about. Oklahoma City took the swing and for 3 seasons tried to make it work. But no matter the lineup, Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander never quite fit. 2 ball-dominant guards sharing 1 basketball rarely adds up. So when the Thunder traded him to Chicago in the summer of 2024, most people barely reacted. Just another change of scenery move, another player with question marks. Then the leap happened. In his 2nd season in Chicago, freed from playing off the ball and out of SGA's shadow, Giddey averaged 17.0 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 9.1 assists as the primary point guard at just 23 years old. And it's not only the raw numbers, it's what they mean in context. Giddey finished the season with 13 triple-doubles as a Bull. That's only Nikola Jokic and Jalen Johnson had more across the entire NBA that season. That's the company he's keeping. And somewhere in that stretch, Giddey passed Michael Jordan on the NBA's all-time career triple-double list, though Jordan still holds the franchise record for triple-doubles in a Bulls uniform. Whatever you make of the comparison, that's not the sentence you get to write about many players in this league right now. It wasn't a flawless season. Giddey missed close to 30 games with a lingering hamstring issue from December through April, shot around 44% from the field, and there were stretches where the offense stalled the moment he sat. Real flaws, but he's still only 23, one of the youngest impact players in the league. And here's the part that doesn't get said enough about Giddey. He's not a player who single-handedly raises a team's floor. He's a system in himself. He needs runners, he needs cutters, he needs rim finishers who can catch what he throws, and shooters that stretch the floor and open up passing lanes he sees before anyone else does. For years in Chicago, he simply didn't have that. Now, imagine handing that system a 6'10" lob threat with a massive wingspan who just dropped 35 points in his Summer League debut. That pairing alone could be worth a significant number of extra wins next season. And that's before you even get to the player who might be the most important piece of all, Matas Buzelis. Buzelis' story is different from everyone else on this roster because he isn't someone who was traded in or drafted from somewhere far away. He's Chicago. Born in the city, raised in the suburbs, drafted by the Bulls with the 11th pick in 2024. Handed real minutes by a rookie by a coaching staff with nothing left to lose, he quietly turned in one of the more underrated sophomore leaps in the league. The numbers tell part of the story. 16.3 points, 5.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.5 blocks across 77 games, shooting 46% from the field and nearly 35% from 3 at just 21 years old. But the numbers alone don't capture what you see on tape. Buzelis stands 6'8" with close to a 7-foot wingspan, a smooth handle for his size, and the kind of transition athleticism that makes secondary break offense look easy. He's exactly the kind of running mate Giddey has needed, someone who can run the floor, finish above the rim, and knock down an open 3 when the defense collapses. And here's the telling part. Just weeks into the job, Tiago Splitter went out of his way to say nobody yet knows Buzelis' true ceiling. That kind of comment from a brand new head coach isn't casual, it's a signal. Buzelis is being built into the long-term plan alongside Wilson, not as an afterthought around him. Now zoom out, because this isn't a 3-man story. The rest of the roster reinforces the same direction. Look at center. For years, Chicago cycled through Nikola Vucevic, Andre Drummond, and whoever else they could find. Now they've added Nick Claxton via trade from Brooklyn, a legitimate rim protector and vertical lob threat, exactly the kind of center this franchise has lacked for the better part of a decade. At shooting guard, the Bulls recognized their spacing problem and signed Norman Powell to a 2-year, $45 million free agent deal, a proven veteran shooter to space the floor around Giddey's drives and Wilson's cuts. And with the 15th pick, they doubled down on Splitter's defensive identity by drafting Dalen Swain out of Texas, another long, athletic, defense-first wing.
put it together, and the projected starting five looks like this: Giddey, Powell, Buzelis, Wilson, Claxton. A long, athletic, versatile, and, for the first time in years, built with real purpose. Is it perfect? No. Let's be honest, having two limited shooters in Claxton and Wilson on the floor together is a genuine problem to solve. Wilson shot 26% from three in college, and Claxton has shot under 20% from deep across his NBA career. There will be nights when defenses pack the paint and dare Chicago to beat them from outside, but that's a coaching puzzle, exactly the kind of problem Tiago Splitter was brought in to solve. For once, the talent is actually there to work with. So put it all together: new front office, new coach, new identity, and a lottery pick that already looks like a steal. What does that actually mean going forward? Look, this isn't a championship roster yet. The East is loaded, Wilson is still a rookie, and Giddey is still refining his shot. There will be growing pains, but for the first time in over a decade, the Bulls have a clear timeline, a clear identity, and three cornerstone pieces, all under 24, that genuinely fit together. This isn't a patch job, it's a plan. This might not be the year Chicago storms back into the picture, but it could be the year the Bulls stop being a punchline and start being a problem. So where do you think this team finishes? Is Wilson the guy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.